Okay, this is for Contractor Horror Stories. Welcome. This is Alexander, and I have my own contractor horror story. I own a landscaping company, and I had a job that had to install 6 pallets per the contract. So everything's going smooth. Day one, well, actually, it all got done in one day. We prepared the land, put topsoil, and put some of the most beautiful grass I've ever seen. It was zoysia grass, and the grass went down, and it was amazing on the pallet. Like, it was so green. I've never seen grass that green, which is ironic because this ends up being a horror story. So in any case, the whole time the homeowner is decent. He's not mean or, no red flags are showing up at this point. So we put down the grass, everything looks nice. And then there's an area that I talked to him about doing if we had enough grass left. So the area didn't get completed because the contract stated 6 pallets of sod, and I had 6 pallets. So at the end of the job, I go in and I talk to him, knock on the door, go inside, and we're talking. And he said, well, the other area is not finished. And I said, well, that wasn't in the contract. It's 6 pallets. If we had extra, we'd do it. He said, I said, well, I need to pay my guys and, finish out the job. And then if you want to do more work, that's considered an add-on, and I'll be more than happy to do that at a separate time. Well, he wasn't having it. He got very belligerent right away. And he demanded, he said, quote, "You better go get that other pallet." And I was like, whoa, like, no, this is not the contract. So we went back and forth. It got kind of heated, and I was trying to be as professional as possible under the circumstances of, doing what the contract said. And his wife walks in at the time, and she, bless her heart, so to speak, she sided with me. She said, well, the contract does say 6 pallets and the grass looks good, everything's good. Why don't we do another time? He didn't like that. So I don't know, she kind of was sacrificed for me, I guess, in a way, because I don't know what happened later on that night, with him maybe berating her and them having some further conversation. But what it ended up being is he gave me a negative review on Google and Yelp, and completely fabricated a story about me having 3 big guys and threatening him and his family. And he put that, and I responded to it, on the Google review. But when he said, he paid me, right? So if I threatened him, why wasn't the police report filed? And why would he pay me if I didn't fulfill the contract, or his wife? So all in all, it was a bad situation. The job was actually done beautifully. It was one of the better jobs I had done up to that point. It was when I first earlier started out in business. But the customer, he had his own business, come to find out, and he had a lot of negative reviews on his business. And I guess you can kind of track, somebody informed me that you can kind of track how they rate other businesses, and he's notorious for giving bad reviews. So I just ended up running into a difficult customer. And if you have enough customers over a period of time, you're gonna run into difficult ones. Be professional as much as possible, given the circumstances, obviously, and have a contract. So the contract saved me. Even his wife sided with me on that, and she was like the saving grace at that point. But without that contract, I'd have been in a lot of trouble. At that point, it was defamation. And being early in the business, you really don't know how to handle that type of attack, But fortunately, you can learn from my mistake, which was maybe not noticing the red flags, and maybe make sure you have a contract, and it's signed, the expectations are there. And once you have all those elements, take pictures, video, like I did. It ended up saving us, and we were able to get that negative review removed by Google based on the evidence we presented. So stay safe out there, contractors, and tune into Contractor Horror Stories, because you may just sidestep some of these stories, and you don't have to fall down the same hellhole that some of us have already. Join us every Friday for Contractor Horror Stories, and we'd love to have you. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.